Hello there everyone, how are we doing? It is me as per. Couple of things I've got to do today. I've got to write up my pitch for the group podcast I've got to make for my uni assignment. I've got to minute the meeting, or write up the minute meeting notes I've got on my phone. And then I've got to submit those. So yeah, I'm just going to sit here and write. If anybody joins, I'll talk you through how to write a pitch as we're going. And we'll go from there. So let me switch to, I'll make it to the screen. I'll make myself a little bit smaller. There we go, and I'll move myself down here. So I'll zoom in on this so you can see more. There we go. So things look a little different. Great. So move that down there. So all I'm writing today is my podcast pitch submission, name of hosts / group members. I won't put that in on stream because of reasons. I'll put that in by itself. Name of podcast, fighting, no, we're just calling it Out of the Red Corner. Theme / what's the word I'm looking for? Topic. And series. Boxing. We would look for future episodes to get other members, combat sports community, coaches, fighters to appear on the podcast. How do I phrase this bit? Style / order. Would change that to us. Oh, I've gone full screen. One I'm then going to quiz style segment, where the guest would face off against the 4 hosts in 4 rounds of quiz questions. Okay. On topics, e.g. your life, combat sports, general knowledge, maths/science, school subjects. What other topics could there be that we could question him on? Because there's only 4 there, so there were a couple others I did suggest last night. Other sports. Etc. The podcast would essentially be a shortened audio version of a pre-fight build-up. You get to know the fighter is there anything else I need to include? Where am I looking here? Podcasting content. No assessment. Do I? Or is it in here? Say week 5 then. Assessment 2. Pitch. Oh man, I can't. It's asking me to view this thing, but then it's covering up the actual text I need to see. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. We're entitled list of description of format style, what other audio you might use. Let's bullet point this again. During the quiz, there would be audio-based questions. If there is a wrong answer, punch sound effect and what is your USP? What makes your idea original? Our idea is original because not only is there oh, my keyboard's just gone off. Why is my keyboard gone off? Why's my keyboard gone off? Oh, camera's there. Ah, there we go. I'm going to switch to just camera while I write in the fellas' names. Right, file, save as, download as PDF. Download. We're then going to load up uni email. New mail. Is it actually on there I have to send it, or do I have to do it in Brightspace? Don't know. Content. What does it say? Turn it. It is 1:30, everybody. There's your time to reply. So, okay, that's fine, whatever. Let's talk about United for a bit. Well, we've done the first little part of our written piece. Let's talk about United for a bit. Yeah, it was a weird one last night. Let me load that back up. Let me switch to reaction gameplay. So we go on Footbin. No, FotMob. I'll give my personal player ratings. We weren't good at all. I will read that in a minute because I don't understand why he's been branded a clown. I think I want to read that because I disagree fundamentally, but let's see why they've said that. So Onana 6.4, I probably agree with. He did make a few alright saves. Could have done better on a couple of the goals, I do feel, but you know, his defence laying down. Harry Maguire was shocking. Could have given away a penalty in the first minute. Didn't really do much else. Did give away the actual penalty. Was fighting with Varane for that third and fourth goal. It was almost trying to tackle Varane. So I think 5.8 is pretty generous. I'd have given him a 4 at best. I think that's being generous. Johnny Evans 6. Unfortunate to pick up a knock. Looked steady for the first 15 minutes. Not much you can really do there. Dalot 6.2, playing out of position. I didn't think he played awfully. Played some nice passes at various points in the game. Just didn't. He's if you could put Wan-Bissaka and Dalot together, you would have the best right back in world football, because Wan-Bissaka is really good defensively, 1v1, maybe not on the back post as we saw for their first goal, but certainly 1v1. His pace is good, just getting forward he's not good enough. Dalot really good passing range, getting forward, but defensively he's a bit shaky. So if you could put those two together, I don't think there's many right backs that come close. So I think 6 is fair. Wan-Bissaka 6.8, I agree with that. Like I just said with Dalot, he wasn't playing out of position, steady game. I do feel at fault for the first goal. He should have picked up his man, let Varane pick up the man he was marking. McTominay 6.5, do not agree with that. I thought he didn't play well at all. He did alright for the first goal, got the assist. Good of him to not shoot himself and to pass it into an open Højlund, but yeah, he's. I'm glad we didn't get rid of him, because even though we did have Amrabat, Mason Mount, Hannibal, Forson on the bench, I would have liked Amrabat to start from the start instead of him or alongside him, but for what we've got at the minute injury wise, and the fact the only midfielder we did bring in was Mount and Amrabat. Mount, who can't do it defensively, and Amrabat came in very late. He's the best of a bad bunch, really, and he's there to do a job, and he did okay, but he's not good enough. If we can get rid of him in January and bring someone else in, if not then the summer, I think that needs to be the best course of action. A couple of goals here and there is not enough. His defensive work is not good enough. His passing range isn't good enough. He's good for the last 10 minutes when you need a goal, so maybe it could have been wise to have Amrabat from the start and bring him on if we were 3-3 and needed that finishing goal, because I think he could have provided us with that, but for what he did, that game was just not good enough. Eriksen, he was coasting for the first 20 minutes, but then the first half an hour, then when we conceded Rashford went off, and then he just looked really shaky. Came off at half time from Amrabat, which I do think gave us that stability, but we did need. Garnacho, I think, played alright. We'll be interested to see what this article's saying about him being a clown, because I didn't really pick up on it yet. I think Garnacho on the left is the answer. I really do. I don't think you can put any of that blame on Garnacho. He never stops running, and he never stops looking to cross that ball into Højlund. He just never stops. I think he could have been more selfish with Højlund second and gone. Well, he did be a bit selfish, I suppose, but he could have passed it in. Is what I'm trying to say. I've got my words mixed up. He could have passed it into Højlund earlier, but would he have scored? I don't know, because the passing angle was a bit tight. But I think Garnacho had a steady game. I do think he's better than Rashford off the left, because he crosses the ball in. He's left-footed, so he crosses the ball rather than shoots. Whereas Rashford, being right-footed, always looks to cut in, doesn't really like the cross. Whereas he was on the right until he got sent off in the 42nd, as you can see on the screen there. He was crossing. He was playing it simple, which is all we've been asking of him. Last season, yes, it worked on the left because he was the only source of goals, but now we've got Højlund instead of Weghorst and Martial, who can score goals and take the burden off him. He doesn't like it, and it's not working because people now know his game, and that he's going to get the ball, he's going to run it yet, then cut inside, and people are compensating for that, and it's not working as much, and he's not doing it as well. So if you put him on that right, form a partnership with Wan-Bissaka or Dalot, and whoever's that right side of midfielder, McTominay, Casemiro, Amrabat, whoever, Bruno, Mason, whoever it might be, you form a sort of triangle there, a relationship, and you play the simple passes, get it into Højlund, cross it in, or get it into Bruno, can whip a ball in. Even passing it back and picking it forward, which he tried to do a lot this season. You play that simple ball, and we do alright. I think if Rashford stays on, we win. I don't think it's anything to do with the fact that we were down to 10 men. I think we coped with 10 men. Yes, it was 4-3, but I think that came with poor defending. We still had 4 defenders. It was... We'd lost an attacker, so the fact that we went out to 10 men has got nothing to do with it. We lost a man in midfield, but we didn't really. We lost a man in midfield, but Bruno covered the midfield as well as going out to the wing, and we had 2 holding midfielders in McTominay and Amrabat, so that negates the point. But I think we have that attacking output that Bruno just doesn't bring. Bruno brings that ping ball, whereas Rashford does bring that pace and that cross, which Bruno just doesn't. Bruno has the cross but not the pace. Bruno, I think, played alright, got a goal, stepped up when we needed him to bring it to 3-2. Obviously then his defence let him down, but I think he can't really blame much of that. Could he have done more defensively? Possibly, but Maguire, Varane should have done a lot better in every instance. Who's next? Højlund. Yeah, Højlund was very good last night. 2 very easy goals, but we've seen with Haaland, he scores the easy goals. We've seen with Bellingham, he scores the easy goals consistently because of his positioning. So people are saying a lot that he scores tap-ins, but a lot of it is just to do with his positioning, and he can't be blamed for that. Looking at the table, we are Europa League bound. I think Bayern have got Copenhagen next, and we've got Galatasaray. So if we beat Galatasaray, we go to 6 points, putting us into 3rd. If Bayern beat Copenhagen, we would go to 2nd, I suppose. But then it's Copenhagen, Galatasaray, and we've got Bayern. So we would need to beat Bayern, and preferably that game to be a draw. Or even if they win, I suppose it'd be alright. One of the team win, because then they'd be on 7, we'd be on 9. But we are now in a position that we need to win our last 2 games, and beating Galatasaray and Bayern, Galatasaray away and Bayern at home, and I don't think we can do it. Obviously Bayern are now through. There is no one else that could get close to them. Closest would be Copenhagen, and they could only get 10, so Bayern are definitely through. Whether or not, no, even first, they're guaranteed first, because Copenhagen, Galatasaray can come nowhere near them. So they're probably going to rest their games, so their B team can probably beat Copenhagen. We can possibly beat Galatasaray, but then that means we're going to have to hope that Bayern go insanely weak on the final day, and we put in a good performance. But I think even Bayern's B team has got a chance against us at the minute, because we are just shocking. With Shaw out for the foreseeable future, Casemiro out till January, Martinez out till January, the list just gets worse and worse. Malacia is out. for a while. We're starting to get some semblance of a team back, but it's still not where we need it to be. Team wise, that midfield cannot be our midfield this season. It needs to be Bruno, Amrabat, and Casemiro. I do feel to get us any sort of stability. But I mean, we've seen that midfield and it's not done well. So it's a possibility that we've got to go to a back five or a back three, or change to a two-striker formation, change to a two-striker, two wingers formation, play two midfield, play 4-4-2. We need to try. This just isn't working. This 4-2-3-1 system. Because then in the offensive phase of the game, we're playing the 3-2-5 really, with Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Evans, or Varane, I suppose. Dalot pushes up, Eriksen and McTominay sit, and then those five attack, which it's been really exploited because Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, and Varane in a back three. Maguire needs constant support around him. Varane's too injury prone, so often pulls out of challenges, and Wan-Bissaka isn't good enough as a centre back. He's not good enough to just sit and defend. He needs to run at people and get his challenge in. So we're fucked really, because Copenhagen, a team that are, I don't even know where in the Danish league. They are top of the Danish league, but it's the Danish league, man. We should be beating these teams. We really should. And the fact that we looked comfortable when we went 2-0 up. Obviously went 1-0 up and then 2-0 up inside half an hour, but one player gets sent off and our heads drop. We concede a slightly dodgy penalty. Heads drop even more. We get back a dodgy penalty. I don't feel either of them were, but if theirs is a penalty, ours is a penalty. Is the kind of way I look at it. By the letter of law at the minute, they both are penalties, I suppose. But yeah, the heads just dropped again and again and again. We go up, the heads go up a bit, and we concede the equaliser, and the heads drop, and then they heads an hour pass it down, and they capitalise on that, and they get the winning goal, and we just couldn't come back from it. We were just shocking last night, and there's no excuse for it. We should be beating Copenhagen. This side should have been comfortably beating Copenhagen, even with Rashford having the day off, even if Antony played. Who was on the bench, if Pellistri played at right mid, even if Mason Mount played at right mid, if Dalot went up there and Reguilon played on the left, we should be beating Copenhagen. This side is not a title winning side. This side is not a Champions League winning side. It's not an anything beating side, because it's still got McTominay, Maguire, Evans, Dalot at left back, Eriksen being the holding midfielder while McTominay runs forward. We've still got a lot of weaknesses in this team, and that we're just being exploited left, right, and centre, and it's just not good enough anymore. And there's got to be significant change. I don't think we should sack the manager, because it's like people are saying, "No, get Ten Hag out." All right, but who are you getting in? I don't think there's any manager in world football, probably apart from prime Sir Alex, that could turn this back around. You've got to. It's like. Ralph Rangnick said the club needs to be completely wiped out, and we've still got the likes of Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, McTominay here. I'm beginning to think that Rashford isn't good enough anymore, and he had an insane season last season, but he has a good season, then he has a really shit season, and the only way you stop that happening is you get rid of him. And if Qatar come in, I think we are a little bit hypocritical for making fun of City for doing it, but we do have. With the Glazers, we should be spending. We do spend a lot, but we should be spending a lot more. We're probably the richest team in the Premier League in terms of how much we bring in, funds wise. But we spend this tiniest proportion of that. We could be spending double, triple what we are. We do spend a lot, but we're just not. We don't sell well enough either. I mean, the only player we've made profit on since Sir Alex left was Daniel James to Leeds. So that just shows how shocking we are. But the whole I think Onana, I think he will come good. Maguire and Evans both need to go. I'll be honest, I think Varane needs to go. I really do. I think he'll go Saudi or back to Spain. I think Martinez can stay. I think Wan-Bissaka needs to go. I think we need to get in a more complete full-back, one that can do both things okayly and not. Yes, he's good defensively, but he's not good enough attacking. Dalot, although I love him, he's really good going forward, but defensively he's very shaky. So I think we need a more complete fullback. Shaw, I think, can stay. Eriksen doesn't need Eriksen can stay, but he needs to be a bench option coming off the bench. If we're looking a little bit lacklustre in passing in the first half, he can come on with at half time or with 60 minutes to go. McTominay needs to go. Bruno, I think, needs to stay. I do think he will come good. Garnacho needs to stay. Rashford, I think, needs to go. And we need to get another world class right winger in. If Qatar and then that's Mbappe, I'll not be mad. If Højlund can stay. Looking at the bench, Varane's got to go. I think Amrabat should be starting where McTominay is. Mason Mount, well, he's going to stay. Martial needs to go. Antony needs to go. Pellistri needs to be given a chance. I'd like to see him start as our right winger, but I don't think he will. Forson couldn't be bothered whether you say or go. Mesbury needs to go. He's disciplined, not good enough, and he's not learning. Reguilon, I've not seen enough of him yet to see whether we should make our loan deal permanent. I think if we wanted to, Tottenham would let us, but I don't know. Lindelof needs to go. I rate him more than Maguire, but just for his own career, I think he needs to go and pick up some regular game time. Bayendier, again, not seen him play, so I don't really know. Tom Heaton can go. Let's just go on Footman. And obviously he's going to look different with Premier Carter. I'm just going to say what I would like my ideal team to be. So saying we're going to have to stick with this 4-2-3-1 formation. I'll do what I would like my ideal United 11 to be. 4-2-3-1. Where am I looking here? Why have we got ads? 4-2-3-1 is there, right? That's not right. 4-2-3-1-2. This is the formation Ten Hag likes to use. It's obviously going to be Onana in goal, right? Left back is, I feel, has got to be Shaw. Martinez. I don't think we've got a good enough right centre back at the club. Right back, I would love that Frimpong from Leverkusen, and I think with this season coming up, how well Xabi Alonso is doing, I think he will be on his way out. Left mid, I think it's got to be Garnacho. Down the middle, it's got to be Højlund. I spelled that wrong, haven't I? Hodgland. It's got to be. Right mid, I would like it to be Pellistri. In an ideal world, it would be Mbappe, but we're not going to get that, are we? Cam, I think, is Bruno. Amrabat, I do think we will make his loan deal permanent. That one. So that leaves, we need at least this. And I do think as well we need a better right winger than Pellistri, because although I am really impressed by how he's been, I don't think he's complete enough yet, and I think we need a more solid option. But CDM, I don't think Casemiro's good enough anymore. I'm going to put it out there. He's looked really poor this season, and yeah, I really don't like the way he's been looking. I think if Qatari's come in, we've got an option of this. We have also been rumoured to get Coman, and he can play either wing, so I suppose he could be the option. I think he's a good option. I don't think he'll be at Real forever. I think he's getting limited game time at the minute, and I think he could be an option. In terms of centre-back, see, this is tough because I do like Varane, but he's too injury prone. Lindelof, I rate him more than Maguire, but he's still not good enough to be a title-winning player. Johnny Evans is not good enough. Maguire's not good enough, and apart from that, we're looking at youth players, and we haven't really been linked with anyone. I think we were linked with Todibo. He could be a good option, but again, you're risking. He's another sort of youngster that's. Oh my! Why is this not working, man? Right, we're gonna say Todibo there because this isn't working. Todibo there. We bring him in. We'd looked at him in the summer and we never got the deal through. But the issue there is he's another young talent. Looking at that team is very young. Garnacho's 19, Højlund's 20, Amrabat's only 25, Camavinga's in his young 21, 22, Pellestri's 21, Frimpong's 23, 24, Onana's only 26, Martinez is only 25, Shaw and Bruno, the only ones the other side are 30. So although this team is going to be good in the future, we need a team that's going to be good now. And this is a big risk we're going to take. I think it is a risk worth taking, but it is a big risk. So this is my ideal United 11 for perfectly with Todibo there. I think there's still, you need to have a good bench behind it. I think you would probably have Mount, Ericsson, Bayindia on your bench, assuming you could have 9. So Mount, Ericsson, Bayindia. Any of these still deserve to make the bench? Probably Dallo I'd keep. Reguilon I'd keep. You'd want a backup centre back, so you maybe keep Lindelof if he's happy staying and being third choice. I think Amad Diallo would be there. So that's Mount, Ericsson, Bayindia, Lindelof, Amad Diallo. That's 5. I think you'd have to bring in another forward. I don't think it'd be Martial. I think it'd be another youngster. So I'd like Benjamin Sesko to come in. I think he could be a good option. I think Anthony will stay. I really do. I don't think he's good enough to, but I think he will. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's still playing. You maybe keep Reguilon if he has a good season. So that's 8, and then you're probably looking at a youngster. You maybe keep forcing what's his name? Kobe Mainoo. Close, you keep Kobe Mainoo. He's not good enough to start yet, but he's an option for the bench. So you keep Kobe Mainoo. So that would be my ideal team. Anyway, right, I want to read what this is saying. Man United fell 4-3 to Copenhagen in the Champions League on Wednesday evening. Garnacho was seen scuffing the penalty spot during the first game between two sides, and a hand. Oh, it's just because he scuffed the penalty spot in the last game. Okay, I thought it was something he did in the game, but no, they're crying, they're begging for clicks. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. That's been a fun little writing session and ranting session about how shit Man United are. I will go live when I'm free another day, and we'll go from there. Love you. Bye.